How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of the Ad Podcast, coming to you from Streaming Media in Santa Monica. We have Monica Monique from Secret Level and Chain Reaction. Monica, thanks so much for coming on with us today.
Hi.
So tell me a little bit more about what you guys do and what brought you to the conference this week.
So came over to the conference to just have a conversation about generative AI and generative AI usage in the space. Secret Level has been in existence for like a little over 2 years. We were, I can confidently say, one of the first companies in the space to utilize generative AI in storytelling, more specifically heavily in brand space, although we also do have a long form space. So we have been kind of the leaders in using generative AI in actual practical use cases beyond spec spots, trailers, for real physical brands.
Okay, awesome. A lot of brands are still a little bit hesitant to jump into AI content creation. There's still some issues around rights management or just a hesitancy. What do you say to brands that have any kind of misgivings or any kind of wanting to tap the brakes or wade into things slowly? Like what would you say to alleviate their fears?
I think a lot of it comes from a legal standpoint. On their legality side, they're more interested in like how things were trained, where did it come from, etc. I just tell brands that at minimum they should at least educate themselves of where it is. When the floodgates open, they will open, and they don't want to be left behind in what that is. And so for brands, understanding how to utilize generative AI, even if they can't use it in-house currently, where does it need to go? How do they use it? Deciding what works for them. Also understanding from the greater aspect of what it means. I come from very traditional on-set kind of things. And when I talk to brands, they're like, well, we want to make sure that what's in the background isn't owned by somebody else. And I said, but every commercial I see, I'm like,
Still have to get waivers signed.
I can see IKEA furniture and their clothes came from Target. And so it's very similar. And we're not trying to sell those things. We're selling what your product is. And when we get to the product, we can be very specific. We can sell what that is. We all know brands are being crunched on an amount of money they have to create their things. And so we try to tell people that we utilize generative AI as much or as little as they want, but it's to help in addition to what they have. So instead of, they no longer have $325,000 for a single day shoot. Maybe they have, $200,000 for their entire shoot, including ideation to post. Those are numbers that are workable in generative AI, so they can still dream as big as they want. They can be as creative as they want and just make their money go further.
What is one of your favorite case studies or a brand that you've worked with recently, and what was the breakthrough in the content output you guys created for them?
Yeah, we've worked with a lot of different brands. I mean, most famously, we worked with Coca-Cola. We did
right. Okay, yeah. Congratulations. That got a lot of press.
Yeah, that got a lot of press, good and bad. And,
well, that's the thing about polarizing moments, right? It's engagement in both directions.
Exactly. And the greatest thing about that is when I read the negative comments, which were like, we're bad for the environment, like we're horrible for humanity. Nobody said anything about the story. And to me, that was the telling tale, because the story ultimately, no matter how you tell the story, what the technology is, story is king, and story's always been king with us. And so for me, the big win was like the story happened and people liked the story. Maybe didn't like the way it was told or the technology that he used. But if it was CG, if it was animation, would you have liked? If it was traditional, would you have still liked it?
Yeah.
So it's more like technology polarizing issues. But they were really open to working with us. And I think Coca-Cola is one of those brands that is just always so innovative in what they do and what they say, and is a really good pairing.
They love to be first to market, love to have the splashy stories.
So we also work with Will.i.am very closely. We work with him on lots of different projects, and he's another one who just wants to push the envelope of what's being done. We are looking at generative AI to replace things. We are looking at it as what can we do that's bigger than? How do we dream bigger than? And that's kind of like all the stuff that we utilize.
Yeah, I've seen Will.i.am demo his own AI a couple times at Gary VCon, and also I think it was at Cannes. So he's like always such an innovator, always so deep into technology as like an actual practitioner, not just a pitch man or a celebrity.
Yeah, and he's totally down with the way that we think, where it's like, how do we utilize tech to tell a story as opposed to using a story to utilize the tech? And if we lead with story first, which is, again, and I will say that a million times because it's truly in the
important point
in our fabric of what we do, The tech will just naturally lead into what we need to do for that.
Awesome. All right, so let's switch to streaming media. What brought you to the show this year?
So they asked me to come speak about generative AI and use of synthetic people, things, places, and how do we kind of maneuver that going forward into the space. I'm a firm believer that everybody should have some level of knowledge of that, no different than earliest uses of computers. I'm a Gen X kid, so class of 92, I was worrying how to internet before the internet.
Let's go.
But what that did was allowed me to decide how much I want to play in the pool. So obviously I learned how to do HTML coding, and it didn't mean that I became an engineer, but what it did allow me to do was parlay that knowledge into something else that I wanted to do, which ultimately led me to where I am now. And so I feel like generative AI is one of those places that I ask people to participate in it, to learn it, to feel it, to see it, and see how much they want to be in it or not in it. And if they do get into it, we're so early in the infancy stages. If they see something's wrong or they don't agree with something, this is a time and the place that you can have a hand in
Be part of the product roadmap and the conversation and the ethics.
These those conversations. You can have all those things to move it forward. And we're moving so quickly that there's just a lot of places for that. And it's also a community that's so incredibly open with the technology and how they get there and friending and whatever. The barrier to entry is so incredibly low. So at that point, it's just about how much do you desire to understand and know about it.
Nice. How do you think the panel went? Scared faces in the room?
No.
Exciting?
No, I think they're excited. Anytime somebody shows up to a generative panel, I already know that they're like at least open to it.
Yeah.
But it's not an all or nothing. And I think that if anything they took away with it, it is not all or nothing. You can decide where you want to play in that field. And it just also understanding what generative AI is. And then it's not just one size fits all. It's completely different in every step of the way. I mentioned that, everybody's used ChatGPT in that room.
Oh, yeah.
And but nobody's asking where did all that information came from. It's come from IP'd books.
New York Times, the web, Wikipedia,
from people who
academic papers.
Nobody cares. Nobody's has their hands raised and are all upset that it's taking away IP, but in generative AI, we're very concerned.
Yeah.
So there's like this weird dichotomy that's happening.
Feels like maybe it's the rights differences like words aren't as protected in the same way that like images or movie or film. It's kind of like...
But images and film are all just pixels.
Yeah.
They're all just pixels rearranged.
When you get down to it, it's ones and zeros, right?
And words are just words rearranged. Yeah. So, I mean, I allow people to feel whatever they want to do in that space, but I just ask them to come at it from like a practicality standpoint.
What do you think the right business model should be moving forward for generative AI on the creative side? Do you think there should be compensation to the people that train the models and give out their libraries? Or should it, I know there's been some talk within like the AI czar about like putting those types of restrictions on these models will just allow, maybe China to do it faster than America can. Like, what's your thoughts on, copyrighted materials as training materials? And should there be compensation, or should it just be, whatever these AIs can get? Yeah, whatever AIs can get their hands on is fair game.
It's incredibly polarizing, and I think you're going to have people all over the board. It feels like talent and people in specifics should be compensated, and then other people feel that, it should be completely free to whatever. And then there's a what people don't see is the people in the middle, and the people in the middle are like, because I paid for content, so I paid the owner who owns the content. Does that mean it's right? Because the director did not create that content knowing it was going to be created. The actors did not understand. The production designer didn't understand.
So all the downstream people.
You could go down the stream, and then what makes it ethical? Is it because at least one person got paid? So when you talk about like things like Spotify, where they're like, the artists don't make any money, but labels make money. So does it make you feel better that the label made money, or does it make you
rather the artist
make money? So it's like it depends on like how you want to eat into it. I think if you truly are borrowing or taking from IP, no different. Like if you have a song that was inspired by somebody else, you get writing credits, you get residuals. But there's a ton of music I listen to, and I'm like, that's a riff from this. That
sounds close enough.
It's all very intermixed. We are just an amalgamation of everything we've all seen. You have Tarantino, who's scene for scene will do exactly what he saw in it. He saw a video, a movie, or any of those things, but he's thought of as an amazing director for that because he saw it in his own way. And so I think that there's going to be all this middle polarizing pieces to it. But the truth is, it's going to move forward. So the genie is out of the bottle. It's going to move forward. And we have to really push people to, like, if we can monetize currently, if we can make sure that we have safeguards, how do we do that? And for like us at Secret Level, I think it's still the case. We were the only company that signed a DGA contract. Our commercial work is DGA covered.
Let's see.
So that was important to us. Jason is the DGA director, and that was an important piece to us. We hire real talent when possible. We use real voices when possible, and depending on the project. And we try to look at something holistically in what can we use and authorize and give onus to that we feel comfortable moving forward with. And you're going to have people that do that across the board, people who are just going to continuously do Star Wars remakes. And then you're going to have people who want to create their own IP and want to
New
do
things.
And it's going to be all over the board.
Yeah. Sounds like a pretty good take. Where would you like to point people if they want to learn more, reach out, connect with you, talk
Always,
AI filmmaking?
yeah, they can reach out to me on LinkedIn. I accept everybody. And, I love the fact that you can connect with us at secretlevel.co directly to see our work with a bunch of really high-end, really interesting projects coming out of some never been done before. We are definitely on the cutting edge of breakthrough of things that haven't been done. The work we do is very much paid for work. So I love that it's outside of the whole sizzle spec piece. We're working with other teams. We're working with large teams in very traditional ways. And so, yeah, follow us on secretlevel.co.
Sounds exciting. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks.
Cheers.